Life can often feel like an endless journey, filled with twists, turns, and bumps along the way. But have you ever wondered how to truly take control of your own path? What if the secret to navigating this journey lies not in controlling the world around you, but in mastering your own mind and actions? Many people think of control as an external force, something we fight for, manipulate, or impose. But Buddhism teaches us something different. The real power comes from within. Imagine being the calm driver of your own bus, guiding it with intention and clarity through the ups and downs of life. In today's video, we're going to explore 7 powerful ways to take control of your life using timeless Buddhist wisdom. From breaking free from the chains of your past to embracing change and cultivating inner peace, these principles aren't about domination, they're about conscious choice, mindfulness, and compassion. So, buckle up as we dive into these life-changing practices that can transform your mindset, your relationships, and ultimately, your life. Are you ready to take the wheel and steer toward a brighter, more fulfilling future? Let's begin this journey together. 1. Life is a journey, the destination is the path. Life is often compared to a journey, and for good reason. Like a journey, life is filled with moments of excitement, challenges, and moments of reflection. We spend so much of our time thinking about our goals, where we want to go, and what the future holds. Yet, the beauty of life often lies not in the destination, but in the journey itself. The destination is not a fixed point we reach, rather, it's the continuous unfolding of our experiences, growth, and evolution. The Buddhist philosophy reminds us that life is about the process, not the end result. It's about living fully in the present moment and embracing each experience as an opportunity to learn, grow, and develop. Instead of focusing solely on achieving a specific goal or reaching a particular place, we must shift our focus to the journey itself, the people we meet, the lessons we learn, and the joy we find in the process. When we think of life as a journey, we start to see the importance of each step we take. Every decision we make, every challenge we face, and every joy we experience all contribute to the path we're on. By focusing on the present, we are better able to find meaning and fulfillment in the moments that make up our lives, rather than constantly chasing an idealized destination that may never truly satisfy us. 2. Karma. Are you trapped by your past? Have you ever felt like you were stuck in a cycle, unable to break free from the consequences of your past actions? This is the feeling that many of us experience when we think about karma. The concept of karma in Buddhism is often misunderstood. It's not about punishment for past wrongdoings, but rather a way of understanding how our actions, thoughts, and intentions shape our present and future. Karma, in its simplest form, means action or deed. It's the law of cause and effect that governs our lives. Every action we take, every choice we make, sends out ripples that influence the world around us. Just like planting seeds in a garden, the seeds of our thoughts and actions grow and produce fruits in the form of experiences and circumstances. In this sense, our past actions aren't something we should feel trapped by, they're merely opportunities for learning and growth. The true power of karma lies in understanding that we have the ability to change our future through our present choices. While we may not be able to change the past, we can choose how we respond to it and how we move forward. By becoming more conscious of our thoughts and actions, we can begin to plant seeds that create a future filled with positive outcomes. Breaking free from the past isn't about ignoring it, but about understanding that we have the power to shape our destiny through our present intentions. 3. The power of choices and personal transformation. We often hear that we are the sum of our choices, but have you ever stopped to think about how true this really is? Every choice we make, from the smallest daily decisions to the larger, life-changing ones, shapes the course of our lives. But what if we could harness the full potential of our choices to create a life that aligns with our deepest values and desires? Buddhism teaches us that we are not passive observers of our own lives, but active participants. The power of choice lies in our ability to shape our reality through conscious decisions. Personal transformation happens when we make decisions based on mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. By becoming aware of the consequences of our actions and learning from them, we create opportunities for growth. Transformation isn't an instant process, but a gradual unfolding. It begins with recognizing that we have the ability to change our mindset, beliefs, and behaviors. Every time we choose compassion over anger, understanding over judgment, and kindness over cruelty, we take a step toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Personal transformation is about aligning our actions with our highest values and purpose, and doing so with intention. When we realize that we are the creators of our lives, we empower ourselves to take control of our destiny. This doesn't mean we will always make the right choices, but it does mean we have the opportunity to learn, adapt, and continue evolving. The power to transform our lives lies within the choices we make today, and by choosing consciously, we can create a future filled with meaning, growth, and fulfillment. 4. Letting go of desires and finding true contentment. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of material possessions, status, and fleeting pleasures. We're often told that happiness comes from acquiring more money, more things, more recognition. However, Buddhism offers a radically different perspective. True contentment comes not from the external world, but from within. At the heart of Buddhist philosophy is the idea of attachment. We often become attached to our desires, believing that if we just acquire that next thing or reach a certain milestone, we'll finally be happy. But this cycle of desire leads only to dissatisfaction, as the joy we gain from fulfilling one desire quickly fades, making room for the next. This constant chasing after external validation and possessions can leave us feeling empty and unfulfilled. Buddhism teaches us to release these attachments and turn inward. By letting go of the constant need for external approval and material gain, we can begin to discover a deeper sense of contentment. True happiness, according to Buddhist wisdom, arises from inner peace, self-acceptance, and mindfulness. When we stop chasing after fleeting desires, we can begin to appreciate the present moment and find joy in the simple things. Letting go of desires doesn't mean we stop pursuing goals or enjoying life's pleasures, it means we stop depending on them for our happiness. Instead, we begin to cultivate a sense of contentment that is not tied to external circumstances. True desire is not about seeking more, but about seeking deeper fulfillment in the here and now. By practicing mindfulness and focusing on what truly matters, we can find lasting peace and happiness, regardless of external circumstances. 1. True happiness lies within, not in the external world. In today's world, it's easy to believe that happiness comes from external sources, be it a new car, a bigger house, a promotion, or social approval. We're constantly told that material success, fame, and wealth will lead to lasting happiness. However, the wisdom of Buddhism teaches us that true happiness doesn't come from these fleeting external factors. Instead, it is rooted deeply within ourselves. The external world is ever-changing and unpredictable. We can't control the circumstances, the people around us, or the events that occur. If we rely on these external factors for our happiness, we are setting ourselves up for a life of constant dissatisfaction and stress. When something external brings us joy, it's often temporary, leaving us seeking more, always chasing after something that seems just out of reach. True happiness is found when we look inward. It comes from cultivating inner peace, contentment, and self-acceptance. Buddhism teaches that happiness arises from understanding and embracing who we truly are, letting go of the need for validation or approval from others. It's about connecting with our inner selves through mindfulness, meditation, and self-compassion, allowing us to experience a sense of contentment regardless of external circumstances. By focusing on nurturing our inner world through practices like gratitude, kindness, and reflection, we begin to experience happiness that is steady and unshakable. When we stop searching for happiness outside ourselves and instead cultivate it within, we become more resilient, able to navigate life's challenges with a sense of peace and balance. 2. Avoid quick judgments, observe without criticism. In our daily lives, it's easy to form quick judgments about others, situations, or even ourselves. Our minds are constantly at work, categorizing, labeling, and drawing conclusions based on limited information. However, these snap judgments often lead to misunderstandings, conflicts, and unnecessary stress. Buddhism offers a powerful antidote to this tendency, observing without criticism. When we make judgments, we often filter our perceptions through biases, past experiences, and assumptions. These judgments can distort reality, making us see the world through a lens that is clouded by preconceived notions. For example, we may judge others based on their appearance or behavior, assuming we know what they're thinking or feeling. However, this approach can prevent us from truly understanding others and lead to unnecessary conflict or resentment. Instead, Buddhism encourages us to observe situations and people without immediately labeling them as good or bad, right or wrong. This practice of non-judgmental awareness allows us to see things more clearly without the distortion of our biases. When we observe with an open mind and heart, we create space for compassion, empathy, and understanding to emerge. This doesn't mean that we abandon discernment or stop making decisions. Rather, it means approaching life with curiosity and openness, without the need to quickly categorize things. By letting go of our tendency to judge, we create room for deeper understanding, more meaningful connections, and a greater sense of inner peace. 3. The importance of loving kindness towards yourself. When we think about kindness, we often direct it outward, towards our family, friends, or even strangers. However, one of the most powerful and transformative forms of kindness is the one we offer ourselves. In Buddhism, the practice of loving kindness, or metta, is a core component of creating a peaceful and balanced life. While we often focus on being kind to others, we must first learn to be kind to ourselves. Loving kindness towards oneself means embracing self-compassion, recognizing that we are all imperfect and deserving of love and understanding, just as we offer these qualities to others. It's easy to be critical of ourselves, especially when we make mistakes or feel like we haven't met certain expectations. But Buddhism teaches us that self-criticism only leads to suffering, while self-kindness fosters healing and growth. By practicing loving kindness, we learn to treat ourselves with the same warmth, patience, and care that we extend to others. This involves forgiving ourselves for past mistakes, accepting our flaws, and acknowledging our worth as human beings. It also means prioritizing our well-being, whether that's through rest, healthy boundaries, or self-care practices that nurture our body, mind, and soul. When we practice self-love, we begin to create a foundation of inner peace and resilience. It's from this place of self-compassion that we can more effectively extend kindness to others, as we no longer seek validation or approval externally. Loving kindness allows us to accept ourselves as we are, with all our imperfections, and empowers us to grow and thrive in a way that aligns with our true selves. 4. Quiet the inner critic and embrace self-love. Many of us have an inner voice that constantly criticizes us, doubts our abilities, and points out our flaws. This inner critic can be loud and persistent, often undermining our self-confidence and preventing us from taking bold steps in life. But Buddhism offers a powerful tool to combat this negative self-talk, self-love. The inner critic can be seen as a reflection of our fears and insecurities. It may stem from societal pressures, past experiences, or even childhood conditioning. However, this voice is not our truth, it's simply a product of learned patterns of self-judgment. Buddhism teaches us that we have the ability to transform this inner dialogue by cultivating compassion and acceptance toward ourselves. Instead of allowing the inner critic to dictate our actions, we can choose to replace it with a more compassionate and supportive inner voice. This is where self-love comes in. When we learn to treat ourselves with kindness, patience, and understanding, we gradually quiet the negative chatter in our minds. Self-love doesn't mean being self-indulgent or ignoring areas of growth. It means recognizing our intrinsic worth and embracing ourselves fully. It means being gentle with ourselves when we make mistakes and forgiving ourselves for past wrongs. Through mindfulness and meditation, we can become more aware of our inner dialogue, and when the inner critic appears, we can choose to counter it with loving thoughts and affirmations. As we practice self-love, we begin to feel more confident, empowered, and at peace. We stop seeking validation from external sources and instead find strength in knowing that we are enough, just as we are. This shift in mindset allows us to move forward with greater clarity, compassion, and courage. 1. Impermanence, everything changes, embrace the natural flow of life. Impermanence is a fundamental concept in Buddhism that teaches us that everything in life is transient and ever-changing. Our circumstances, relationships, and even our emotions are not fixed but constantly evolving. At first glance, the idea of impermanence might seem unsettling or even frightening, as it suggests that nothing will remain the same forever. However, embracing impermanence can bring about profound peace and wisdom. When we accept that change is inevitable, we are able to let go of attachment to the past or fear of the future. We learn to appreciate the present moment and find joy in the fleeting experiences that life offers. Whether it's the changing seasons, the growth and decay of nature, or the evolving nature of our thoughts and feelings, everything is in constant flux. By accepting impermanence, we can begin to release our grip on the things we cannot control. We stop holding on to relationships, possessions, or goals out of fear of losing them. Instead, we can embrace change with grace and flexibility, understanding that change often brings new opportunities for growth. Just as a river constantly flows, life moves forward, and by aligning ourselves with this natural flow, we can find balance and inner peace. Moreover, impermanence teaches us the importance of living fully in the present moment. If we are constantly preoccupied with the past or worrying about the future, we miss the beauty of the here and now. When we accept that life is transient, we can begin to live with more mindfulness, enjoying each experience as it comes, without clinging to it or fearing its eventual end. 2. Taming the monkey mind. Focus on the present moment. The term monkey mind is often used in Buddhism to describe the restless and chaotic nature of our thoughts. Just like a monkey jumping from tree to tree, our minds are often in constant motion, flitting from one thought or worry to another without pause. This mental chatter can be exhausting and overwhelming, preventing us from fully experiencing the present moment. However, through the practice of mindfulness and meditation, we can learn to tame the monkey mind and bring our attention back to the here and now. The key to taming the monkey mind is developing awareness. By becoming more conscious of our thoughts and their patterns, we can begin to detach from them and observe them without judgment. Instead of allowing our minds to race endlessly, we can learn to gently redirect our focus, bringing our attention back to the present moment. This practice doesn't mean suppressing or controlling our thoughts, but rather recognizing them without getting caught up in them. One of the most effective ways to quiet the monkey mind is through mindfulness meditation. This practice encourages us to focus on a single point of attention, whether it's our breath, a sound, or a sensation in the body. When our minds wander, as they inevitably will, we simply notice it and gently bring our attention back to the chosen point. Over time, this practice strengthens our ability to stay present and calm, even in the midst of external distractions or internal turmoil. By taming the monkey mind, we cultivate a sense of peace and clarity. We stop being slaves to our thoughts and instead become more grounded and present. This shift allows us to approach life with greater awareness and intention, making it easier to navigate challenges with calm and focus. 3. The Noble Eightfold Path, a lifelong commitment to wisdom. The Noble Eightfold Path is a central teaching in Buddhism, offering a clear framework for living a life of wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. The Eightfold Path is not just a set of rules to follow, it is a comprehensive guide that touches every aspect of life, helping us align our actions, thoughts, and speech with our highest values. It is a path of transformation, not a quick fix, and requires consistent effort and commitment. The Eightfold Path consists of 8 interconnected principles: right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. These principles serve as guidelines for living in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. Right understanding and right intention form the foundation of the path. They encourage us to develop wisdom by understanding the true nature of existence, recognizing the impermanence of life, the causes of suffering, and the path to liberation. With this wisdom, we can set positive intentions, acting from a place of compassion and mindfulness. The next steps focus on ethical conduct, right speech, right action, and right livelihood. These principles guide us to live in ways that promote peace, kindness, and honesty, avoiding harmful speech, actions, or behaviors that create suffering for ourselves or others. The final steps, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, are focused on mental discipline. These practices help us cultivate awareness, focus, and clarity, allowing us to overcome distractions and develop a calm and balanced mind. Living by the Eightfold Path is a lifelong journey, a commitment to continuous growth and self-improvement. By embracing these principles, we align ourselves with wisdom and compassion, creating a life that is not only meaningful but deeply fulfilling. 4. Be the author of your own story. Take conscious control of your life. Too often, we feel like passive participants in our own lives, swept along by the tide of external circumstances or the expectations of others. However, Buddhism teaches us that we have the power to be the authors of our own stories. Rather than letting life happen to us, we can consciously choose the direction of our lives, making decisions that align with our values and aspirations. Being the author of your own story means taking responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and reactions. It involves recognizing that, while we can't control everything in life, we can control how we respond to what happens. By practicing mindfulness and self-awareness, we can become more attuned to our inner desires and motivations, allowing us to make choices that reflect our true selves. Taking control of your life also means letting go of the belief that you are defined by your past. In Buddhism, there is an emphasis on the idea that each moment is an opportunity to create a new narrative. We are not bound by our past mistakes or limitations. We have the ability to change and evolve, no matter where we are in life. When we embrace this sense of agency, we stop blaming external circumstances or other people for our unhappiness. Instead, we take proactive steps toward the life we want to create. This can involve setting clear intentions, creating positive habits, and taking action toward our goals. By consciously steering our own ship, we become empowered to navigate life with confidence, purpose, and fulfillment. Being the author of your own story is about embracing your power, owning your decisions, and creating a life that truly reflects who you are and what you value. With this mindset, you begin to live intentionally, carving out a path that is uniquely yours. As we wrap up today's journey together, remember that you have the power to shape your life. The path to a more conscious and fulfilling existence is not always easy, but it's yours to walk. You have the ability to control how you respond to life's challenges, to embrace change, and to cultivate peace and mindfulness in every moment. Whether you are struggling with the chaos of the mind, dealing with past regrets, or seeking a deeper connection with your true self, know that you are not alone. The wisdom of the Buddha teaches us that we all have the power to transform, to make choices that align with our values, and to create a life that reflects who we truly are. So, as you go forward, take a deep breath and remind yourself, you are the author of your own story. Your thoughts, actions, and intentions shape your future. Choose them wisely, with kindness and compassion, for yourself and others. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to take the next step today. Reflect on your life and where you want to create change. Start small, whether it's embracing mindfulness, letting go of past attachments, or being kinder to yourself. Every little step counts. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit from these teachings. Leave a comment below and let us know how you plan to take control of your life today. Let's continue this journey together, supporting one another on the path toward a more peaceful and empowered existence. Remember, the journey is the destination, and every step you take brings you closer to the life you truly deserve.